All right, the third one, time management. I point out that during the exam first, during that 1 hour or 2 hours, yeah, a lot of people run out of time. Why? Everything has a reason. I keep saying that. How come you run out of time? Of course, the basic one, which everyone know that, lack of practice. Yeah, you don't even do anything. Are you expecting you can able to do it? Every single questions, you look at that, you're staring at this for 10 minutes before you start writing, because you're not familiar with the content. Of course, you run out of time. Okay. And then the second one is you keep using the wrong method. For example, for like quotient rule. You don't think about split and shift up, then you keep using quotient rule. You're not familiar with the content. This is all about content index. Then you make mistake. But if you are thinking you are the person who are not, I'm not that low level. I do practice. I'm pretty confident. Okay, these types of person, I'm talking about they are short for 15 minutes above, 15 minutes above. Yeah, I'm talking about every exam. I'm short for 5 minutes or less than 5, 2 or 3 minutes. Yeah, if I have 5 more minutes, I will do better. Definitely, 100%. I'm talking about these types of students. So why you run out of time? It's because the first one, oh yeah, this is also 15 minutes short. The first one, and exam 2, around 78% of the students, because I keep asking students, do you run out of time or not? It's around 78% of students in exam 2 run out of time. Exam 1 is not too much. As long as your content is fine, exam 1 should be fine. So the reason for the people who run out of time like 5 minutes is because you're not familiar with your calculator, or the opposite around. You rely too much on the calculator. I'm talking about exam 2. Exam 1, you got no choice. It must be algebra. Yeah, must be you. As long as you don't have much depth code, which means your hand and your brain is functioning properly together, then you avoid that. You should be fine. But exam 2, because the calculator is sitting next to you, so a lot of people think about that. Oh, I can rely on the calculator every single time they hold up a calculator and press. This is pretty stupid as well, because exam 2, maximum around 70% of people, yes, you can do calculator, but the rest of 30%, you still have to do it by hand. And multiple choice, no one said you can just do it in calculator without working out. So all this will make you lose mark. Or if you use calculator, I'm not familiar how do I use it. That's why you lose a lot of time. Okay, that's why in here I want to take 2 minutes, 2 seconds to have an advertisement. Okay, so this is the CAS workshop. This one I want to say a lot. Maybe other tuition center or maybe yes other place is doing this similar one, but mine is unique. I can say if you come here, 93% of the knowledge you learned it before, you heard about this before. I give you money back refund. This is how confident I am. So you got part 1 and part 2 in this holiday. Okay, all right, come back after the advertising. So the CAS workshop. All right, the second one, the last situation, instead of the calculator, which means I can help you to cover this calculator knowledge. Okay, the last one, if you are really 5 minutes short, the reason is about this. You are not like using the reading time properly. You underestimate how important is the reading time. This is why you don't have a proper plan when you do the writing time. Okay, so how should I use the 15 minutes of reading time? Don't underestimate this. All the 50 people is listening to the way that I'm explaining and use this. So I will highly recommend you use at least 10 or all 15 minutes to just read the extended response questions. Some people said, no, I like to do it multiple choice, because in this 15 minutes, I can do the first 2 or 5 questions in my head. Well, multiple choice is individual, okay? They are not separate. And then the worst case, you can do an equivalent guess, okay? The main thing is the extended response, because you have a lot of hidden information in the big paragraph. In the reading time, you're reading the things with the most calm moment, because you don't need to rush, you don't need to write. If you don't read the extended response, don't read the story, don't find the hidden information, in the writing time, you start to read, the more you slow down, the more panic you get. The more panic, you start to skim through that. Skim through hidden information you cannot catch, then you lost the mark. You spend too much time on the thinking, how can I do it? How come I stuck? And the second is extend response. If you read using the reading time, you're not just reading the hidden information, You're also realizing, is question 1 related to, or part A, is it related to part B, part C, okay? And which of them is a hard questions, okay? If you see a hard questions, this one, I have no clue what the question asking. Then the next one, is it related? Can I just jump 1 or I have to jump 2? So all this plan, you will plan it, you fully plan it during the 15 minutes of reading time. So after 15 minutes of reading time, you should already know what is the hard questions. Okay, which part is hard? Then how do I plan? Okay, and then try to do the questions, 30 minutes to do multiple choice, and then 80 minutes to do application task. So you should finish your whole exam 2 in 1 hour, in 110 minutes. Okay, so the last 10 minutes, go back to the hard questions. Go back to the questions that you're not familiar. So this is what you should do in the reading time. Okay, and once you finish the reading time, so that's why don't underestimate this. And this skill, you need to practice, not just the writing time. Practice the reading time, make you 100% familiar with the way, your own rhythm, your own way for using reading time wisely. Okay? So once you finish the reading time, you start writing, yeah? So I just give you a quick recall. Once you do writing time, once you finish 1 questions, make sure you ask before you move on question 2, before you look at question 2, yeah, once you say, okay, equal the answer, make sure you go back, yeah, and say, did I answer the questions? Read the question. I mentioned many times already, because this is one of the main issues that people lose mark, okay? Read the question, like, did the question ask me 3 things? Did I only answer 2? And then the question asked me for exact value. Did I give decimal or decimal? Did I actually give 2 decimal? All this, yeah, you're trapped by yourself reading the questions. And then also make sure how many questions does it worth. If 1 mark, which means answer mark only. If 1 mark question, you're spending so many steps, like algebra skills, so many algebra, your method is wrong. Distraction, you got distracted to something else from the examiner. 1 mark is just answer mark. It may have steps, but not too many. If you're just planning, or this question, I have to do so many steps, but only worth 1 mark, can you think about that any other way before you start writing? Okay. And then, of course, you also know that that's why I keep saying answer is not important, because if your answer is wrong, you still got consequential marks. Yeah. So even though wrong answer, you still got consequential. So that's why focus on the structure. Focus on the structure, your steps, how you present this. That's why I always tell my students, when you finish the questions, when I explain how to do this, you don't say, oh, my answer is correct. Concentrate on the way you just write down in your paper. How come it's different with what you see in my screen? Okay, because what you write down is using your logic. Is your logic correct? Is your presentation correct? This is a lot of people not beware on. They only focus on the answer. Because how to present your step is totally reflecting on what's your logical thinking for these questions. A lot of people know how to do it, they don't know how to present that. Okay, so this one also takes a lot of time to get used to it. Okay, so that's why from observation, every time you observe how you do it, or you finish your past exam paper, when you check the solution, don't just the answer, every steps. Because that marks is much more higher than answer mark. Answer mark only got 1 mark. The rest of the mark is based on steps. Okay? So clear steps, less time, less careless mistake, better result. So this is the time for time management during the exam, during the actual writing time. Note that down, yeah? Hopefully you listen to this and then you apply for it. Okay? So now become more useful. How do I prepare from now and then until the exam? Okay, the time before the exam, like you got 4 months. If you're year 11, you got 1.5 years. What I would suggest, start to write a time plan. Okay, monthly, weekly, daily. You have to write that. If not, you're just doing random stuff. Whatever I feel to do that, then I do it. It won't be efficient. I'm talking about efficiency. You may done the job, you may able to finish the task, but it may take ages to do it. okay? But in reality, we also know that whatever I plan, today I want to plan to do 2 exam paper, but end up I only did 1, or even only half of it, paper 1, yeah? Everyone is doing the same process at the beginning because you got the bad habit, okay? So everything you want to postpone. You don't follow the plan, but start to write that out. At the beginning, you write 2 tasks, 2 past exam, and at the end of the day, you only did 1. You say, okay, I'm falling behind. So tomorrow, I want to finish the first one. Maybe I plan another paper 1 only instead of paper 1 and paper 2. I catch up, then I plan the next one. Okay, so even though you're not following, but you know that you are behind schedule. So that's why I give you a plan to track. Okay, give you a motivation, give you more efficiency. So daily, weekly, monthly plan. This one, it will help you a lot to increase your efficiency. And the second one, practice. Okay, you need lots of practice. Yeah, but how much practice? I would say 25 at least. 25 paper. 25 paper. Exam 1, exam 2, consider as one practice exam. You need to know that exam 1, 1 hour. Okay? Exam 1, exam 2, yeah? Exam 2 writing time, 2 hours, 3 hours, yeah? Just now I said reading time is super important. So each of them, 15 minutes of reading time, 3.5 hours. And then after you finish, you need to look at the solution and check it by yourself. Okay? It takes 30 minutes. So one set of exam, it will take you minimum 4 hours to do this. Yeah? So you need to do 25 exam. 4 times 25. Only 1 subject. You got at least 4 subjects. 4 times 25 times 4 subjects. What is the answer for this? The answer is you don't have enough time. The answer is no time, not enough time. Okay? So that's why you should start. You really need to start the past exam paper in this holiday. Then you may ask, I don't even learn everything. So how do I start? Start all the unit 3 first. Okay? Start all unit 3. Normally, you should start from 2017. Okay, but this year is very weird. You know that this year, all syllabus change. Okay? From 2016, 17, 18, 19 is based on the new syllabus. But this year, for example, you don't have the probability. But especially for SPECS, the whole statistics gone already. Okay? 2016, the old syllabus, some questions is not there anymore. So basically, this year is very hard to find an exam unless the 2020 past exam paper, which only got like the WICA, yeah, and then the WICA practice one, they probably will put the practice one, or the Northern Hemisphere, or those kind of company like NIF, Heffernan, Cubaha, those kind of company, yeah. But everything rather than this, it's very hard to find an exact set which is suitable for this year, which is totally matched for this year. But doesn't matter, okay? This is affecting a little bit of your time management because you cannot practice within 2 hours. You cannot do the full question. You may do 1 or 2 questions less, but try to do it first at this stage. Try to do the past exam paper. Still start from 2017, okay? And then when you listen to this, okay, I want to start, which means you put effort, right? You start to put effort. Once you put effort, what you want to do, you want to take back the result, isn't it? However, if you don't know how to study smart, you may only get 0.4% of the result. Okay? Why? I tell you, around September or October, I will ask my student, have you done your exam yet? Some students say, yes, I did 20, 18 exam 1, 2 exam 2. Why? Because exam 1 is easier, 1 hour. So you feel more easier. Okay? Then this doesn't work. Because once the exam start, the exam period I'm talking about, after English, it's chemistry, test, and SPECS, you don't have time anymore. So end up, you only practice 2, exam 2, which that's why you do crap in exam 2. Or the other way, I did 5 exam, okay, this week. I mean, no, this month. But this 5 exam, I do it separately. For example, multiple choice. I do it this today, I do multiple choice. Then tomorrow, I did extended response question. And extended response question, I do question 1, ABC. Then I jump to question 2, ABC. Then question 3, A. Then that's it. After my dinner, I come back. This doesn't work either. Okay? This is why you're not practicing your time management, you're practicing your logic, you're not practicing your concentration, you're practicing your algebra skill, because you're doing separate. It doesn't work. I'd rather you don't do it, because it's same as you don't do it. You just did it only. You just fill up something, but you won't improve. Okay, so that's why study smart. I want 1% of effort. I don't want 0.4 return. I don't want 1% return. I want 3% of return. That's called high efficiency. I put 1% effort, I want 3% return. How to do that? First, do the whole paper with reading time and writing time. You're training your reading time skill, you're practicing your reading time like the writing time skill, okay? And then because I said 80 minutes for application tasks, 30 minutes for multiple choice. Is it what I write? Is what you're going to do it immediately? No. You can only achieve this kind of standard at least 10 paper after. Then you got your own rhythm. You can control that. If not, you can't. If you're doing separate, you can't. Okay, so you spend time, you want to get more result. So that's why do it within time limit. And then when you give up on the questions, yeah, make sure you don't immediately look at the solution. It doesn't work, because in exam, you say, I don't know. Once you say, I don't know, what you're going to do. You need to go through a several way to think different method. You can only deduce your thinking time from 10 minutes when I need this question to do 10 minutes to 3 minutes, then to 1 minute. Then that's called you're on the level, okay? Because in exam, time is everything. So once you say, I don't know, don't look at the solutions, yeah? Look at several different methods. Spend a bit more time right now to solve this question. That's why the first few paper, you're expecting you run over time, because you're not used to it. Your thinking time takes too long. And the next one, this one, show the same step and structure. A lot of you guys keep saying that, oh, in exam, I'll write that properly. In exam, I will show all the working out. It doesn't work. It doesn't work this way, because in exam, you got too many things to concern. If you don't write this out properly, you don't get used to the way how to present. Yeah, how do you suddenly used to a proper way, a proper presentation with a lot of stress in your brain, with a lot of time management. Yeah, you need to scared that you run out of time. You're scared that you make a careless mistake. That's why a lot of people in exam, they purposely slow down, because right now they don't write it out properly. They're scared that you make mistake, so they purposely slow down. That's why at the end, a lot of good students who expecting to get 50, at the end, they only got 42 to 45, because they lots of marks because run out of time, and they scared careless mistake. So every single question I'm using this way, and every time I got this way, I get it right. My rhythm, my pattern is pretty good. In the exam, I don't need to purposely slow down. And you got a time management in your head, in your heart. Do exactly the same thing as what you're going to do in exam. That's my highly advice for you. All right, yeah, high efficiency. Then the last one is this. Create your error collection booklets. 1 week before the exam, you're not going to do any more past exam paper already, because you already practiced enough. You start to read, okay? Read all the concept that you make before, because that's all the questions. It's good for you. All the easy questions, you know how to do it, you know how to do it like forever. I'm talking about those hard questions you need to recall. Okay, so copy or cut and paste all the good questions into just a booklet. The I just show you. So just any booklet, any random booklet will be fine. Whatever you see a good question, chop it, paste it. Okay, at the beginning, you may have a lot, but towards the end, you'll get lesser and lesser. And when you revise that, you say, yeah, that's why you see yourself is improving. Okay, and if you want to do it in the first paper that you did. Do it in the first exam paper that you're going to do. If you're doing 10 exam paper, you won't be bothered to doing this anymore. Okay, start from the paper 1. Then you try to collect this. So combine with everything like this. That's called study smart. 1% of effort, 3% return. My 2 hours of study equivalent to your friend 4 to 5 hours. This is how you can able to do it. So this is the exam tips for you. From now, until the day before, 1 week before the exam.